thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to show you a new thing that I've been using from Pryms. I wasn't entirely sure what to call it, a haberdashery item, notion maybe, but it's this new thing from Pryms. It's fairly new and it's called Form Tape Interfacing, and it is really good for using to help stabilise your fabric. Not to be confused with seam tape interfacing, which you definitely have heard me talk about before. The seam tape interfacing is what you use to stabilise areas, and you can use it to stabilise areas in stretchy garments like your shoulder seam. So you would have seen me use that when I did my tips video on inserting jersey neckbands, so I used that one. So the difference between the two, the seam tape interfacing and the form tape interfacing, is that the form tape interfacing is non-woven interfacing. They're both iron on. This one's non-woven, so it doesn't stretch. It's like just a sort of straight strip. It doesn't really budge from that kind of shape at all. Whereas the form tape one, it's a woven interfacing, and that interfacing is cut on the bias. So it means it's really, really easy to sort of manipulate it and just mould it around whatever shape your fabric is or whatever shape you need it to be. So you can see, I'll open a little bit out so you can see it close up. So you can see that it's really quite lightweight. It sort of floats around and it moves a lot, which is good, especially if you're going to be using it on lighter weight fabrics. And you can also see that it's got this kind of line of stitching within it as well. It's not like a normal stitch, it's a bit looser than just like a normal stitch if you were to stitch it on the machine, say. It's almost like, yeah, like a bit of a loop or almost like a bit of a chain, but it just gives it some stability to it as well. So although this can still sculpt and move, that stay stitching does still provide some stability and structure as well. So you can see that it doesn't really give when I put tension on it or pressure on it. So what you can use this tape for, what I've been using it for, is in place of doing stay stitching on fabric. So the example that I've got is the grain line scout tee, that's what I'm wearing today as well, and the neckline on that pattern is finished with bias binding. So what the pattern asks you to do is, before you put the shoulder seams together, so as soon as you've cut it out, you put a line of stay stitching around the neckline within the seam allowance, and that just stops the neckline from bagging out or stretching out. Because the neckline's curved, it's really susceptible to just changing shape and form a little bit as you work with it. So that stay stitching just helps to stabilise the neckline basically and help it maintain its shape. But especially on a lightweight fabric like this viscose one that I've got in this example, because the fabric's so floppy and lightweight, when you come to sew quite close to the raw edge, it's really easy for the machine to kind of eat it up a little bit, and then it's just quite hard to do. So, but you will see that it's so easy to put this stuff on. So you put it onto the wrong side of your fabric, you put it on as soon as you've cut your fabric out and before you've sewn anything at all. So that shape of neckline that you've cut out is sort of as clear and as pure as it will be. It's not being sort of stretched and moved around too much. So I would have a cool iron. It is quite lightweight, you don't want it to sort of just disappear when you iron it. You can test it on a scrap if you're not sure. I put it in just sort of a low to medium heat on my iron, and then just light, using the tip of the iron, just sort of lightly press it all the way around, and you can see that you can just mould it to the neckline as you go. It doesn't take long to set, and then that's it, it's on basically. So you'll feel that one side of the seam tape interfacing is rough and one side's smoother, so the rough side has the glue, so remember it's that side that you want to be putting onto the back of your fabric. So you would do that on the front and back neckline. In theory, I guess you could put it on the armholes as well if you had a top that had bias binding on it, but that's not done quite as commonly. You don't commonly stay stitch armholes. But if the pattern asks you to stay stitch, then you could use this in place. So you can see that now that the seam tape interfacing is on, it hasn't changed the appearance of my fabric too much, which is great, especially with a lightweight fabric like this. So it's not going to make it look different from the outside. It's going to give stability, but it doesn't hold it like really rigid either. It's just that really good in between. So then you can just go ahead and construct the rest of your garment. And as you can see, the neckline is I think it looks pretty good on this one. It's sitting nice and flat. It's not kind of bagging or sort of hanging out. It's just kind of doing what it should do, really. So I've got the seam tape interfacing on this one. So the other instance where I've also used it recently is when I was making a sequin top. Again, I was using the Grain Line Scout Tee pattern, and I lined it as well. So I put the seam tape interfacing, the form tape interfacing, I hope I've not been saying it the wrong way around all this time, the form tape interfacing. I put that on the neckline of the sequins and the lining as well. So I essentially just made two completely separate tops, one out of sequin, one out of lining. It had the form tape interfacing round the neck, and then once those two tops were made and constructed and done, I put the two together, right sides together, sewed them round the neckline, clipped, understitched, and then just pressed it, and then that was my neckline in. The fabric on the back of the sequin is just a mesh, and it's really floppy and flimsy. It's just not got any sort of structure to it at all, so it's really easy when you're working with sequins for it just to distort out of shape. So as soon as you've cut your sequins out, just get that form tape interfacing on round the neck, and it will make it so much easier when you come to put everything together at the end. So I hope you found that useful. The other thing that you could try on, which I've not tried it on yet, which is why I don't want to dwell on it too much, but you could also use it on stretchy fabric too, but bear in mind that that line of stitching that is within it will stop the neckline from stretching, so you wouldn't be able to use it on a garment made from stretchy fabric where the neckline has to actually stretch. If it's a neckline that's quite big, like if it was quite a sort of, you know, a lowish wide boat neck style top, and the hole is more than big enough for you to get your head over it anyway, then you might get away with it. Or if it was like a scoop neck, you could use it then as well. It would be, yeah, one instance where I think maybe you could get away with it is with the Grain Line Lark tee in the boat neck, because they tell you to just literally turn that over and hem it. It's not actually got a neckband on it, so it's in that situation where you've not got a neckband that it might help, but bear in mind that it doesn't stretch once it's on. It will hold stability in the fabric, so you don't want to put it on your stretchy garment neckline and then you can't get it over your head, so just remember that. But yeah, so as I said before, I hope you found that useful. If I come up with any more good uses for it, I shall let you know, or if you can think of any as well, then just let me know in the comments. As ever, if you've got any questions, just let me know below as well. You can get this on my website. I'll put a link to the blog post, which is linked to this video, and it's got more pictures and just some of my tips sort of written out, and a link to the product as well. So we've got the white colour at the moment. It does come in black, and we'll be getting that soon, so you can watch out for that one. If you like this video, then remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one, and until then, bye!